Hello, this is part 4 of your Blender tutorials, and today we're going to be looking at the modifier arrays. So let's have a quick look at how that would work. We have our cube, and the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go into edit mode. What we're going to be creating today is a very simple fence using arrays. I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's like a powerful tool, and how you're going to be able to do that. So let's take the top here of this post. I'm just pressing the delete button, that dot delete button, just to zoom in on the number pad. We're going to press G for grab, and we're going to extend it up so it looks like a post of a fence. Again, we're just doing G till we get to the desired height. Now I'm going to want to put a little bit of detail in this fence because I don't just want it to be a post. It's kind of boring. So let's add some detail to this. So what we're first going to do is we're going to extrude it, which is E. We're going to extrude the scale, so we're going to press S for scale, and then we're going to take it in just a little bit. So we've got this nice little effect here. We're then going to do the same thing, E for extrude. We're going to lift it up, and we're going to click it. We're going to do E for extrude, S for scale. We're going to take it out, and then we're going to go E for extrude, and we're going to lift it up, and then we're going to go E for extrude one more time, and we're going to sit it there. Now I want to scale this off so it's like a point, and how we're going to do that is we're going to press S for scale, and then I'm going to press 0 on the number pad to get it to go to a point of 0, and it looks a bit like that when you do it right. S 0, S for scale, 0 for the number you want it scaled to. Okay, and now we have a pretty good looking post. Let's add a little bit more detail to this. We now know how to bevel, so why don't we select these edges. I selected edge up at the top here, and then I've selected the edge by holding shift, and then I'm selecting the edge that I want to bevel with my number pad. Then Control B, and we're cutting into it, and then we're going to round the edges off by rolling the mouse wheel till we have that desired bevel effect, and now we have a nice post. Now instead of having to build this post multiple times across by doing Control C, Control V and then G to grab, which would be really boring and really hard, we're not going to do that. We're going to use the array tool. So let's have a look at how that works. We go to our modifier panel, which is down here with this little spanner. We add in a modifier, and we're looking for arrays. That's under generate array. What you're going to see straight away is it makes a copy of the object just off from it. We don't want it to sit there. I mean, we could, but I think we're probably better off having it this way. So what we want to do is want to look at which way that axis is, and we can see that up here on this dial. We can see it's Y is the green line. So what we do is we take this to 0, which is the X, and that puts it right on top of it, and then we change the Y to 1. That puts it next to it. Now we're going to want a little bit of space between these two. We don't want them right next to each other. So by taking up the Y, we can then shift it across. So we're going to shift it to, say, there. Okay? Now, if I want more than 1, it's really easy. All I need to do is just to see where it says count, I can just take that number up to the desired number that I want, in which case 5. When I'm happy, and I'm happy with the amount of ones I've got and the distance, it's automatically calculated, I can then go down here and press apply. Now remember, you must be in object mode before you start messing around with modifiers. If you're in edit mode, you won't see the result. So we apply. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add another mesh. So to do that, I pressed Shift A for add, mesh, and I'm going to get a cube. It will put me a cube where my cursor is, which is where this little circle thing is. And we're going to stretch that cube out First thing we're going to do is move it. So G for grab, and then I'm moving it on the y-axis. So I went G for grab, then Y, and I'm going to put it in the middle, somewhere there, somewhere in this post. I'm zooming in and out with the mouse wheel. I'm also pressing that number delete on the number pad to zoom into the object like that. I'm going to stretch it out. So I'm going to press S and I'm going to pick Y because I want to stretch it on the y-axis. I'm going to stretch that out to about that. And then I'm going to want to make it a little bit thinner because it's a little bit big at the moment. So I'm going to go stretch it again, but I'm going to stretch it on the x-axis. And I'm going to just shrink that down just a tiny bit. And then I can see it's right there in the middle. Brilliant. Let's grab that. Actually, no, we don't even need to do that. Let's leave that there. Okay, so now we're going to make the side panels for our fence. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to go into modifiers here. We're going to make sure we're in object mode. And we're going to go add, we're going to go generate array. It's going to put it next to it. We don't want that. So we're going to set that to 0 on the X factor, and we're going to look at what one we want, which is Z. So let's put a 1 on the Z. That's going to put it above, but we want like a little bit of a gap between it. So again, I'm just going to take it up a little bit, just so I've got a gap like that. And then I decide how many I want. More than 1, I guess. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 5. I can then press that and apply. I now have this part of the fence and that part of the fence. Okay, so let's join them together. So I select this part, holding shift, I select the other part, so I've now got both, and I can press object and then join. That will join them together. Now the problem is that the point of which I can control this is this corner here. I don't want it to be that corner, because when you start moving things in SL or in virtual worlds and you have a point like that, it's really awkward when you're coming to like rotate it and stuff. It can be a pain in the butt. So I kind of want it right there in the center. And how we do that is we go to object, and there's a thing called set origin. We want to set the origin to the geometry. So we're going to go like that. Now what that's done is it's taken that little dot here, moved it from down there to the center. So that was object, set origin, origin to geometry. Now if I rotate it, it'll rotate in the middle. And this will be the same in any virtual world when you take it in. It'll act the same way. I would then have a look at the mesh, so I can see the details of the mesh, check I'm happy with it, and then I can go to object mode, file, export, and Collada DAE, and I can export that straight into a virtual world, or I could put it into one of these. We are going to need to texture, and we are going to need to do some UV unwrapping and stuff like that, but we're going to look at that in a later video, so please give me some time. I'm just making sure that you can build stuff first. Enjoy, have fun with arrays, and try and create some cool things, maybe some staircases, maybe some really cool sculptures and things like that. Let's see what you can create.